Welcome to Blended Together on the Journey.
It's our first one, so there's technical difficulties. It played earlier, but just didn't play this end.
So I'm April Dinwiddie. I am the executive director of Together on the Journey, and this is my creative partner and friend, Johnny Wright.
Yes. Hi, you guys.
Johnny,
thanks for having me. Yeah.
Johnny is a celebrity hairstylist. He is a dear friend, and he is the author of Natural and Curly Hair for Dummies. And Johnny and I have been friends for a very long time, and I've been coming to Transracial Journeys camp for a very long time. And the first time that I saw Johnny speak about his book and about his work with natural and curly hair, I knew he had to come to camp. Our camp experience has been happening for 13 years. This is a space for families experiencing transracial adoption to come together in community and care. It is a space for the campers to be together and to see one another and to be part of a community that they don't always get to have. And it is a place where the parents come to learn so that their children can be all that they can be in their full identities. And it's a place where our counselors sitting here in the front row help to do that, and without them we cannot do anything. So when I got Johnny's book at first, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the book that my family needed when I was growing up in my transracial adoptive family. And I knew for sure that I wanted Johnny to come after he talked at his book launch. And it was at that book launch that I listened to Johnny talk about his Black identity, his identity as a celebrity stylist, and his journey to becoming that. So Johnny, tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming Johnny, the celebrity hairstylist.
Oh, well, so I am a master manifester. So let me give you a little backstory, because I want to talk to you about how this book even came along. I had just moved to New York from LA to start the Tamron Hall show with her. And I was getting on the train, and I saw this same-sex female couple who had adopted a Black kid. And I just, for some reason, I went to them and I said, if I wrote a book about natural hair care, would you be interested in it? She was like, oh my God, I'll be the first in line. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna think about that. And literally 2 weeks later, my agent called me and said, Dummies reached out and wanted me to author this book, believe it or not. That's a true story. Just something that came up, and they initially called it Natural Hair for Dummies, and I changed it to Natural and Curly Hair for Dummies because I wanted to include the Latino dad community as well too, because they don't necessarily call their hair natural, they call it curly. But for me, I've always loved education. As much as I love working on film and television and with my celebrity clients and all that, my real passion is to educate people. And so when April invited me to come last year, I knew there was an opportunity for me to teach you guys some skills that I knew. And that's really why I wanted to be here initially. And of course, now it's grown into Blended Together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So over the last year since leaving camp, Johnny and I have been thinking about and talking about and doing work around how could we bring more to families and children. So you'll hear more about that as soon as we can tell you more, like top secret stuff. But in the meantime, one of the things that when I was getting ready for camp, I was posting a lot on social media. And one of the social media posts that I posted on, my mom wrote underneath, I wish Johnny was around when you were growing up. And it really warmed my heart, and always warms my heart when I can have these dialogues with my mom about my life growing up. Because so often when adopted persons come into families, especially transracially, their families are white and they're Black or brown, they're not able to have these conversations early in life and able to do things to make sure that these children are looked after, particularly their hair. So we're here now, and all of you, families, parents, young people, you're here so you can learn about your hair and how much it really means to you about your identity. And if you can look and see the pictures behind me, you can see that it has been quite a hair journey. It was one where I didn't really know it was on my head. And I was washing my hair the same way that my sister, my white sister, was washing her hair. I didn't learn until I moved to Harlem and I met a hair care person that I've been in relationship with for many, many years, almost 2 decades. And so once I learned how to do my hair, it really opened up a whole unlock for who I am today and how I can sit in my own beauty with my own hair and really just be enjoy with that. So what we want to do is help to teach all of you, the parents and the young people, about your hair and how you can look after it. So we're going to have some fun doing that today.
And that's another reason why I wrote the book too. I know when I was going through my writing process, I wanted to make it very simple for people. Well, you know, the Dummies slogan is, they make learning easy, right? And I wanted to make sure I made it very simple for people because I know that most people don't know what's on their head. Even if you're good with styling your hair, you don't know the different layers and how to manipulate it and how the scalp works and all those things. And growth patterns. So I really broke it down just that simple so people can understand exactly what's on your head. So I understand what you mean. You said you didn't know what was on your head. And then especially being in the blended family, right? You know, your mom didn't know what it was. And I'm sure she did what she could to you know, teach herself about what it was. But, you know, YouTube University wasn't a thing back then.
No.
But now it's much more things out, more tools, more product companies are building more products when it comes down to natural hair care. So it's really an amazing space for us to be in. Right?
There really is. And you can see what happened is I usually had my hair cut short. Mm-hmm. And in the end, my dad started cutting my hair because even the salons in my town, which were quite one-dimensional. They were looking after a certain kind of hair that was the majority of the community in my town, which didn't look like me. Mm-hmm. So a salon experience was not a good experience for me. So I wound up staying in the house, and my dad would cut my hair just like he would my brothers and sisters, and I just needed something different. Yeah. So I oftentimes felt like I wasn't pretty or that I didn't meet the standard of beauty that was around me, which had many of the girls had long, straight hair, and I never really straightened my hair well. You can see I tried to in a couple of those pictures.
But doesn't her curl look fantastic?
But now,
it's amazing.
now I can fully be in my curl, you know, my curly moment, and I love that, and I can really look after it now. So the idea is that as we do this work, we teach all of you, but we also want to teach a lot of folks in salons so that they can almost be like a certified, blended together salon. So that when you see that sign on the door, you know that they will welcome you, your family, and folks that may have blended identities. So it's so important that we have this conversation. And the other piece of this that's so important, and it really inspired me at your book launch when you were talking, was how clear about who you are, and being a black man, and being a strong black man, and being someone who lives in their joy and fully has their identity to them. So I want to talk a little bit about that. When you were talking about being a manifestor at your book launch, and just who you are and how you show up in the world. I want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So the manifestation thing came when I started to listen to myself and seeing the reaction that my life was giving me. Right. There were certain things that I would say or I would pray for, and it will come into fruition. And I was like, wait a minute. I made that happen in some type of way because I wanted it, I had the desire, and I put it out there in the universe. So I started to listen to myself pretty early on. I would say probably around the age of 12, 13. I started doing hair when I was 11. So I've been doing hair a very long time. I'm 48 now. I know I don't look it, but I started doing it when I was 11. And I would say I can cater my being to being behind the chair. There's nothing that trains you more than a woman, and particularly a black woman, in my opinion. And most of my clientele was black women, and I celebrate them throughout my career, and I celebrate them in making me the man that I am today because just their complexity and all those things that I was able to learn from them, just their knowledge and the wisdom that they bestowed upon me just when I was just styling the hair. So really that sense of confidence came from working behind the chair, work with my clients. I remember, early on when I was around 10, 11, I used to have crippling insecurity to the point where I would be afraid to walk into a crowded room. As you can see, I don't have that now. I grew out of that, thank God. But I do feel like, I've always said that as a hairstylist, we get celebrated and praised a lot, especially if you're good, right? So you get praised verbally. Your clients say, I love my hair, it looks amazing. And you see how they look when they turn around and see themselves for the first time after they did their hair. You also get praised by just the amount of clients you have. I had 300 clients in Chicago when I first started, and that's because I was good. And so they was praising me for that, right? And that was something that also helped build my confidence as well, too, because I was so good at that it kind of trickled down into the rest of my life, and it let me see what else I could be confident for in my life. So that's really where that came from. It really just came from being behind the chair and working in the salon and just working with women and dealing with their confidence and just putting that on myself.
Well, we have a lot more to do today, Johnny. I'm so excited. We're going to bring out a friend. We're going to bring out a couple friends that you may recognize, folks. For those on the live stream, you'll get to know them in a minute. But we're going to bring some friends who work with us as counselors here at Transracial Journeys, Together on the Journey. And when you come back, you're going to bring two friends, and we're going to do a really cool hair demo out here. So
Wash day demo. It's going to be good.
All right. We'll see you in a second.
All right. See you guys.
And really, the heart and soul of Together on the Journey is our counselors. We talk about this all the time, and some of the counselors have been coming since they were campers and are now counselors and have built their relationship to Together on the Journey over the years. And one of those counselors is Rachel Boyer. I'd love to have Rachel welcome you to the stage. Welcome, Rachel. It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
And we want to get into it a little bit on your hair journey. We're talking about folks that have been adopted into white families, like myself and Rachel. And many of us have had similar hair journeys across time and space. And when we get together, we're like, oh, you too? Oh, I know that part. And so I really want to talk to you about when you first started to really think about your hair or notice your hair maybe was different than your family's, and what was that like for you?
So I grew up in a small town in Alaska called Eagle River, so there was never any hiding that I was different. But from my family, similar to you, I would wash my hair every day because that's what you do in the shower. And my mom, bless her, would braid my hair. So my mom learned to cornrow my hair, so it was always braided. But then I would wash it every single day with shampoo and conditioner every day. And I didn't have a bonnet, I didn't have a silk pillowcase, I wasn't scarfing it or anything. And so it would be really, really dry. And I was like, well, my brother's hair isn't dry. My sister's hair isn't dry. My mom's hair isn't dry. But my hair would just feel dry. It would almost feel like that straw feeling. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
And talking about how your hair feels, one of the things that many of us in the community of being transracially adopted, oftentimes people like the way our hair feels and want to touch our hair. Talk to me a little bit about your experiences with that.
Yeah. So again, being different, and I know a lot of you live in communities where you are maybe one of a few or one of the only, and there's just this idea that, because you're different, people have permission to touch. I have had people touch my hair. I have felt like I needed to let people touch my hair to feel like I was part of something, or like I was in it. But there was always someone kind of reaching for, and I mean, it happened to me just a couple of years ago.
A couple days ago for me, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I had my fro, before I transitioned to locks, I had somebody kind of reach for my hair, and I was like, what? I had to swerve. But it has always happened, and people are just like, ooh, different. And it's like, no, don't touch me.
Did you have conversations with your parents about that? And did that come up in your home when you came back from being outside or something happened? Did they ever notice that about your experience?
I don't remember having many conversations about those kinds of interactions. I would have conversations. My dad was really, really supportive in having me wear my hair curly. He had really curly hair, so he's like, you could do it too. But I really wanted to just have more manageable hair. That was something that was a label I carried a lot, especially being, around a lot of white friends. My hair being so different and having to, my mom would braid my hair, but that would mean, your friends kind of wash their hair and go about their life, and I'm sitting between my mom's thighs getting my hair braided while we're watching movies, and it was just like, you guys don't have to do that. But there was never a conversation about, oh, this terrible thing happened, and for them to be like, oh yeah, that's bad, let's process that. It's like, yeah, but you handled it, so you're good. What's
something you would tell to young people who may be experiencing that, who are the little us's, and then I want you to also say something like a point to parents, like what should parents be looking for? So first, like, what would you tell a young person who's being asked or not asked, just having their space invaded? Yeah. And what would you tell a young person?
I mean, I would reinforce the idea that your space is yours and you have ownership of that space, and it's okay to tell people no. It's okay to tell people it's not okay to touch your hair. I saw a video. I'm not saying this is the right idea, but I saw a meme that was basically saying, like, I wish that I could bark at people who are trying to touch my hair.
Well, let's try it. I'm going to try it.
Just something that's just, it's reacting in a way that's so like, this is so weird. Why are you trying to touch me right now? But just owning that it's yours. It's your hair. It's your space. No one has the right to come into that space. And it's you're not alone. You're not the only person that it has happened to. Unfortunately, it might happen again. So just kind of, I don't know, be protective of yourself and of your space, and speak out when you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's great advice. I echo that advice. And what about for parents? So if you're a parent parenting a child who may have this experience, what would you tell parents?
I mean, I think for parents, it's crucial to reinforce that idea in everything. So it's not just, someone tried to touch my hair. It's like, if anyone tries to touch you, period, you tell them no. You tell them this is my bubble, whatever is the comfortable amount of space between you and like another kid, between you and a family member, whatever it is. You tell them that, like, this is my space and I am more comfortable if you are outside of it. And if you don't feel comfortable and you escalate to an adult, they should be able to step in. And if an adult doesn't step in, then you tell your parents that, hey, I went to my teacher and they didn't step in. And your parent can also be the person to say, when my kid tells you this, like, you need to believe them, and then do something about it. Because that behavior as a kid, when other kids are like reaching and touching on other kids, that behavior continues as they grow up. And so they do things, maybe not physically touching, but emotionally touching or whatever. So making sure that they keep their hands to themselves when they're younger, so that is a lesson that they can take with them as they grow.
I love that advice. Parents, you hear that? Yay. And something to think about too is that I can say this myself, I will say I know my hair is interesting. I actually really like it now, and I do appreciate when people appreciate my hair, but there is a difference between appreciation and boundaries. So I want everyone here to feel celebrated in their hair, and that it is pretty and beautiful and interesting, but that interest has to be have come with agency for the people who have the hair on their head. Let's think about this. Like, what has been your favorite hairstyle? Wait. First, before that, when did you start like I want to do my hair this way? So when did that start? And then I want to know what your favorite hairstyle has been.
Oh man, I think when I first started figuring out I want more ownership of my hair, I permed it, or I used a relaxer for the first time, and was straightening it every day. I had a relaxer when I was younger because my mom got advice that it would make my hair, again, more manageable. So I had relaxer and then wore it, I didn't straighten it. When I was at the end of middle school, early high school, I started straightening my hair every day. Got my first flat iron, and I was rocking it. So the picture in the top corner, that's at my father's wedding, and that's how I was wearing my hair. I had the little swoop bang, I did the little flip, and I was like, this is who I am. I'm not going to change. I started wearing bonnets. I started wearing scarves. Like, that was it. And I was like, let's go. This is so cool. And then my mom was still helping me pay for my hair because I was in college. And when I was getting ready to graduate, she's like, you're going to have to pay for this by yourself. And I was like, no. So I did a big chop. My first big chop was was December of my senior year of college. Similar to the picture in the middle, obviously I was a college student, so not a child, but it was that short. So I had a very, very short hair when I graduated from college, and that was when I was like, okay, this is where the fun begins.
And before you go, what has been your favorite hairstyle, or what is your favorite hairstyle?
I mean, having a big afro was kind of like a dream of mine, so I'm very glad I got to live out that dream, but I'm really loving my sister locks right now.
Well, tell us about them, Lily. They're beautiful. I'm obsessed. They're like, especially from this angle, the way you have them parted is like really beautiful, and we can see how intricate.
Yes.
What an intricate like hairstyle that is, and it's just really beautiful. So from this vantage point, I'm like, ooh, it's so nice. But so tell us about your journey with Sister Locks now.
Yes. So once I kind of achieved my afro dreams, I was ready for something new, and I was on Instagram, and I saw this woman with really long, beautiful sister locks. And I had seen some traditional locks. I had seen some micro locks, but there was something about the crisp parts of sister locks that I was like, I gotta figure out who does that. And it just so happened that I worked with somebody who was getting certified to do sister locks. And so she's like, well, once I'm certified, and I was like, sign me up. Like, first client, I'm ready. And so when she's like, okay, I'm ready, I was like, no, I'm not, I was not kidding. Like, here's my money, like, let's go. Install took 60 hours, so it was a huge commitment, but I locked my hair very, very long. But I am so glad that I did. I wake up and go. That's it. There is my wash day is I shampoo my hair. The end. Like,
and that's the message.
That's it.
That's
like,
the post.
Sister Locks remains one of the best hair decisions I've made. I don't know if I would have made it if I wouldn't have gone through all of the other pieces of my journey.
Well, Rachel, we're so glad you spent time with us today. Thank you so much, and maybe we'll see you later.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thanks, Rachel. And now I want to welcome Johnny back out with Malukin and Tay. Woohoo! Welcome, welcome.
All right, guys.
This is on.
How's the energy? It's good? All right, so, me and April, we had talked about for a while what the demo would be, and I felt like a wash day demo was the best because that's typically the most challenging for anyone, to be quite honest. So, but it's the simplest way you can take care of your hair is to cleanse it. That's the easiest thing, right? And then, of course, all the other stuff is added onto that. But one of the things that is the most difficult or the most challenging, depending on what type of texture of hair your child has, is the detangling process, okay? So I'm gonna demonstrate how to detangle here live on stage, and then we're gonna cut to a video version of the shampooing process. I'll talk you through that, and then I'll show you how to finish it out with a wash and go on Tay. Sounds good? Okay. So how this typically works, and the best way to do this, and this is all, by the way, I talk about all this in my book, okay? The best way to do this, and you see Lucan has a lot of hair, a lot of thick hair, and it's coarse as well, too. And if you look on the hair chart, are you tender-headed, Lucan? No. Okay, thank God. Thank God. So I'm going to separate his hair here into 4 sections. That's what's most important. It doesn't have to be perfectly neat or anything like that, but I'm going to separate it into 4 sections. Now, Malukin has so much hair, you could separate this into 6 sections. That would be 3 on this side, 3 on this side. But just for the sake of timing, I'm going to separate it into 4 sections, okay? Now, there are certain things that you need to have in your toolkit. You see I have a Y-tube comb. This is necessary. This is going to help you kind of get through the hair easier. And then I also part with this as well, too. You can part with a rat tail comb, but it just really doesn't make sense to use that when you can have a big tooth comb. This is called the magic comb right here, guys. You go, it's literally called magic comb. You go, I think it's magiccomb.com. Go and purchase it. I think they're like $15 or maybe even less than that. You can find it on Amazon. This is a magic comb. It's amazing. It's always been in my toolkit. I use it the whole time when I was with the First Lady. I'm sure you all know I was with Michelle Obama for 8 years. And it's great for feathering. It's great for detangling. It's just an amazing comb.
Am I the second famous person now?
Oh, yeah, you're the second famous person. And Tamron Hall and Queen Latifah, they're all third and fourth. And yeah. All right, you see here, I'm just sectioning it off here, and I'm gently combing it. Now, there are a couple of ways that you could detangle, right? You can do a dry detangle, which is what I prefer, or you can do a wet detangle. And a wet detangle is not completely saturated wet. If you're using some type of product, whether it's a detangling product or a leave-in conditioner like this, and you spray a little bit of this on there. What this does, it softens the hair a little bit so you can kind of get the comb through it and you can start detangling it. The only issue with this is, I will always say learn to dry detangle first, then go into wet detangling. Because if you don't focus on keeping the strands separate, the wet detangle, they can get tangled even worse, and it's going to be harder to take out when you're trying to shampoo it. Make sense? All right, so now you see I have the hair separated, and the sectioning is just going to help you easily detangle the hair. Let me do this right here, 1 second. I should have known. Where is it? Oh, okay. There we go. All right, so you can see, you ought to see the back here. There's the 4 sections. It's not perfectly neat or whatever, but this is the 4 sections. Again, you can do 6 sections if you want to. Now, the trick with detangling is you have to make sure, and I'm going to make sure the camera's on so you can see this. You have to start combing from the ends up, okay? Not from the root out. You want to start from the ends up, and that's how you're going to get a clean detangle. See, I take about, I'd say an 1.5 inch section at the bottom here, and I'm gonna start working my way up this side, okay? I have my dimming brush right here, and I'm gonna start combing it out at the bottom. Now, what I'm doing is gripping the rest of the hair really tightly so he won't be in any type of pain. You might have kids that are tender-headed, or even if they're not, you don't wanna keep pulling on the hair because it will cause a little tension on the scalp. It's just not necessary. You hold it real tight, and as you move your way up, you see that's completely detangled, right? You move up a little more, and then you open your hands a little more, but you're still holding it real tight at the base. Make sense?
Yeah.
And see, like that, it's all detangled.
Well, Lucan, has anybody ever dry detangled your hair before?
Myself.
Use the mic, my friend. Use the mic, my friend.
Yeah, so I'm very new to my hair journey. I would honestly say sophomore year of college is where I truly started recognizing that I can do things to my hair. And I was dry picking out and combing out my hair and destroying it, essentially. I was pulling out hair. They were like, my black friends that I finally made were like, what are you doing? Like, they were genuinely upset because I was just tearing apart what hair everybody wanted. And I was like, I did not know this. And so they bought some spritz and just gave it to me and some product that they owned and started helping me with navigating how to properly wet it a little bit, just enough where it eases, the pain and eases the flow of the hair, being able to just catch in the comb and flow through it and detangle it for you and not go into a whole knotted monstrosity that cause your head to be tender. But yeah, and then I've gotten to a place, even though I'm 24 now, where my mom has stepped in and like started asking if she could comb out my hair, which has been a really cool experience. It's a weird experience with my age, being 24 and sitting down on the floor with her, learning my hair. But I'm gonna take it whenever I can because I did not have that as a younger child, and so it's cool to experience it now.
It's a journey, man, and we're together on the journey. We're blended together on the journey, so it's great to have you. I really appreciate you for sharing that part. Yeah.
And as you can see, I have another technique I'm using here. This is a wide tooth comb, but it's sort of like, we call these, in the industry, we call these the all-purpose combs pretty much, because it's wide tooth on this end, but it's a closer tooth on this end. So what you would do is, in the beginning, you would comb through to get it out in the beginning, right? And you move your way up, just like I did with the brush. And then once you get it pretty good, you'll use this to comb through even more to get even more of the tangles out, okay? That's how that works. But I prefer using the brush, okay? Because there's more bristles, it cuts through the hair a little more, it's pretty much close but not too close, and it's more comfortable for the hair as well too. And listen, just so you all know, hair sheds about 100 to 150 strands a day. At the end of the day, we're animals, we shed, okay? So when you see shedding happen, don't think that's your hair breaking. And there's a difference between shedding and breakage, okay? Shedding is long strands, okay? And that's natural. Sometimes it has a little bulb at the end when it comes out the follicle. That's a very natural thing. Breakage means there's some type of abrasion on the shaft of the hair, whether it's from heat damage, from tension, sun rays, or whatever it is, or if you did some type of chemical process to it or whatever, and there are going to be shorter strands of hair. That's breakage. So that's the difference between breakage and shedding. Shedding is natural. So don't be alarmed when you see shedding, because you're supposed to shed hair. And with your growth process, those strands are going to grow back anyway. Make sense? Makes sense. All this is defined in my book, just so you guys know. And what you all know, another thing I want you to notice that I did here, you see at the bottom, I just double strand twisted the bottom just to keep it straight and keep it out the way, and that way so I can continue detangling this. I actually put a little leave-in conditioner on there just to keep it soft, so it won't get tangled back up. But I detangled it dry. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this whole section, just a little bit on there, just like that, and I'm just gonna just real quickly 2-strand twist it, just to keep that section detangled and out the way. And you don't have to go all the way down to the bottom, because it's gonna latch onto itself, because he has really nice coily hair, which is great.
Sorry.
For the parents, can I mention something?
Yeah, of course.
For the parents specifically, I think I wanted to just say, like, the kids are learning with you, so don't feel so isolated and like not understanding it, because I didn't understand any of these tools. I didn't understand the different brushes, the wide tooth like picks, all of that stuff. None of it made sense to me, and then none of it had any context to where it, or how it applied. So I think like that's a cute little journey that you guys can go together and have together with your kid to be able to like get closer, because you learn their hair just as quickly as they're learning their hair. And then once you guys come to that conclusion point, it's just going to be something that you guys can always remember for each other and connect with at a deeper level.
And Johnny, we're going to move to wash day in a second, the actual hair washing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just going to do this one more last section, just because I just want, repetition is key, right? Mm-hmm. I just want y'all to see it all the way through. I'm just combing it through, holding it really tight, pulling it all the way through here, just so I will keep his scalp comfortable. And then I'm moving on to the next section, which is this one right here. Of course, there's no way we would have done a whole detangle on stage, because it takes about, a good detangle could take up to about 30 minutes, okay? So that's another thing you need to do to understand. On wash day, allot the time. Understand this is going to be a bonding moment for you and your kid. Put on a movie or something. Make the favorite snack or whatever it is that you need to do. But it's going to be a bonding moment. It's going to take time. And the truth is, once you get a rhythm, the time will lessen and lessen as you go. But in the beginning, it's going to take a lot of time, and you're going to have to really work through the hair to make sure you're not creating any more damage to the hair or any friction to the hair. You want to do it in a way that you're going to keep the hair's integrity in place, okay? I'll do one more little spray here. It's detangled. And I'm going to just double twist it out the way. Just that simple. Make sense to you all? Like that?
Love that.
Did it make sense to you guys? All right.
All right, we're going back to the screen here.
So now we go to the screen, and I'm going to talk to you guys through this is once she, does that hair look familiar to you guys? That's April. This is after she was detangled, and I was happy to do it in my kitchen, because this is where you all are going to be shampooing your kids' hair most of the time. And the thing about bending them over, it's the issue is the hair is going in the opposite direction that it flows, so it can't take them over. So what you see what I'm doing here is, before I even wet it, I was running my fingers through to make sure that in this new position that the hair stays straight and detangled in that moment. As I'm wetting it, I'm running my fingers through. You see that? I'm continuing to run my fingers through. You have to do that to keep it detangled. If you just go straight in and just doing like this, you're going to tangle it right back up. So you got to run your fingers through while you're wetting hair. And it's really important to really saturate the hair with a lot of water in the beginning, okay? A lot of times they have product buildup on their hair. If they have protective styles in it, if they have braids and whatever. It's going to, take some time to really get it wet. So saturate the hair. So it takes your time on that. Then I apply the shampoo. Typically, I like to do a clarifying shampoo first, and then a moisturizing shampoo second. And the reason why I do that is because a clarifying shampoo is going to really strip the hair of all the toxins that was on there, whatever residue, whatever buildup was on there. And then you're going to rebuild the moisture and hydration back in the hair with a moisturizing shampoo. I like Olaplex. It's a great line. And they have a clarifying shampoo and they have a moisturizing shampoo. So I do 2 shampoos typically. If their hair is really soiled, you'll do 3 shampoos. But always start with a clarifying shampoo first. Now, as you see, I'm gyrating the hair a little bit here, but I'm also continuing to run my fingers through so I will keep it detangled. Because if you go straight, and I'm also using the comb. You see how I'm using the comb here? That comb is going to keep it detangled because you don't want to go into a process where you tangle it up even worse. The hair is more fragile when it's wet, so you don't want to have to be pulling all that tension on the hair when it's wet because you're going to end up popping the hair off the head, okay? So this is what you see what I'm doing here, just keeping it straight, keeping it detangled. And again, as I'm rinsing through, running my fingers through. And it's really important to rinse thoroughly every time. So, give yourself a good 2 to 3 minutes when you're rinsing. I remember, April, you were saying that you thought, that you knew you had to rinse a little longer with shampoo in your hair.
Yeah, when I was little, being in the shower, I couldn't get the suds out quick enough, and we weren't long shower takers in my family. And so, it was like, I could never get them out.
Yeah. So you got to take a little longer and rinse it thoroughly. That's really important because if you don't, you leave product on the hair, whether it be shampoo or conditioner, it's going to kind of retard the styling process. You're not going to be able to style it properly. You're not going to get that curl and that definition that you want because that shampoo and that conditioner is weighing it down, okay? And you see, this is the last shampoo. I'm rinsing it thoroughly, and then I wring it out. I wring all the water out because now we're about to go into the conditioning stage. The conditioning stage, you want to make sure you wring it out thoroughly because if you have too much water on there, it will not penetrate the hair properly. So you want to wring it out really good, get it to a damp stage. You see here, I have her sitting up. Her hair is flowing in the way that it's supposed to go. I'm going to run my fingers through it and the comb to make sure it stays detangled before I apply the conditioner on the hair. And you see it pretty much stayed detangled. Now, if I would have just went right in and just started working, that would have took me much longer, and I would have had to separate the hair again and do it. Now, with the conditioner, I put a lot of conditioner on the hair. I like to put heavy conditioner on. This is Oribe. And April has a lot of hair, so I put it on. I focus on the ends first, and then work my way to the roots. And I like to comb it through. I think I do another round of conditioner. I don't know if we edited it out or not, but I might put a little more on there. I feel like I need some more on there. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, I did need some more. Yeah, I knew I needed some more. Not quite as much as the first time, but just some more. And again, I'm focusing on the ends because that's what you really want to focus on. And April, shake your hair. You see how she has that light bouncy hair? That's because we focus on the ends and not the root. Because when you put it on the roots, sometimes it kind of weighs the hair down. You want to put it on the root a little bit, but not too much. Now, typically what I'll do is after I comb it out, I'll put a plastic cap on. And have you guys heard of steam treatments? Excellent. I cannot preach enough. Excellent for the hair. 20 to 30 minutes on the steamer. We didn't show it here, but she went underneath the steamer, 20, 30 minutes. It is excellent. It's good for color-treated hair. It's also good for curls. It's going to give that hydration that it needs, and it's going to make those curls bouncy and well-defined. It is excellent for the hair. And it's also great for your skin as well, too. So you get like a 2-in-1. Now, I'm rinsing out the conditioner thoroughly. Tay, you can come on, move over to this.
Great.
Look, I'm gonna take one of your clips. Rinsing out the conditioner, I'm gonna take one of these clips from you. Okay.
Oh, come sit.
We was worried because it was a long video, but it was like, hey, it's 6 minutes, but I was gonna talk through it. And again, rinsing out real thoroughly here. And again, I'm still running my fingers through it and make sure that we do not cause any more tangling to the hair. Wring it out real good. And then you're pretty much done. You flip her up, she turns over, you run your fingers through it, and you'll see how I start to play and show how the curls are already popping just from the shampoo process. Look at that. Combs go straight through. It's excellent. I'm gonna get my other comb over here. And there you go. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so, there's a bunch of different ways you can style the hair. April could have wanted it blown out straight, or she could have went into some type of protective style, whatever. But a lot of times, you can just go for a wash and go, right? Which is what you have, is a wash and go. A wash and go is pretty much easy to do, but there are, steps to it. So I've already started on Tay here, and you all can see how beautiful these curls are, right? But I got something really cool and really exciting to show y'all. And I found it on TikTok Shop. So this is called the Bounce Brush. This brush is amazing. I showed April backstage and she was like, what? This is called a Bounce Brush. So you have this brush here to help kind of get the product onto the hair. You're gonna apply the product. I'm gonna show you all this, but I'm gonna just talk to you through this. It has bristles and it also has these little bulbs on the end as well too. This is gonna help saturate the product into the hair, right? And then once you do that, you saturate it in, you kind of flip it, and this defines those curls. Now, what did you say earlier about your curls? You said you haven't never felt your curls feel this separated before?
Yeah, they just move. Look at them.
Yeah, look at them. They're attached. I'm gonna show you all this. So she was shampooed and detangled, shampooed, and all that, and conditioned, right? And which we just showed y'all on the video. So now it's time for styling, and I'm gonna take about a ½ inch section here on the side. Let me put a towel over you. Take a little water here. Water is your best friend with natural hair, okay? It's gonna help refresh your style. And these are my favorite spray bottles, because you see it has a continuing spray. You don't have to keep spraying it. It's still spraying. It's still going, look at it. It's amazing. I got it at Walmart last night. My first time going to Walmart.
Not even kidding. I've
never been to Walmart before, and I went last night. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I did. I filmed it.
It was the best experience. I can't wait to go back. Even though it's not in New York. I got to find one. Probably somewhere in Jersey, right, April?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I put a little water in there, detangled it with my dimming brush. And now she loves a little gel on her hair, but I do a gel mousse combination. Gel for the whole, mousse for the frizz, and it's also give it definition as well too. So I got a little gel on my hand here. Put a little bit on top and on the bottom, right? Now I'll take maybe 2 pumps of mousse and put this on the top and bottom as well. You guys are gonna love this, watch this. So I take my brush, and now I'm making sure the product gets in the middle and get all into there, right? Now watch this, come close camera, I want them to see this. Y'all see that? Watch this, watch this. Wait a minute. What? How great is that? And what's so great is this is the defining side and this is the full side. So When you want small definition, it makes it fuller, and this side just makes it more defined, but it's a difference in how it dries, okay? Isn't that fantastic?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I'm gonna keep working through this.
Johnny, is it okay if I put the mic out into the audience to see if anybody has any questions?
Of course,
for you as we go?
I want questions. I love it.
And we have a big treat at the very end. Miss Rachel's going to come and give us a story. But if there are questions, to be honest, I would love it if any counselors have any questions first, right out the gate. Anybody in the counselor group here? Tika has one question, then we'll get out to the parents. So great, thank you.
My question is, earlier you were talking about shedding versus breakage. I have 3 daughters. I understand.
Yeah.
But for the parents, what would breakage look like versus like shedding?
Oh, okay. So breakage is shedding is long strands of hair. Okay, long strands of hair is shedding. Sometimes it has a little bulb on the end that came out of the scalp, right? That's your natural, inclination of what your scalp does. Your hair it sheds. Breakage is shorter strands of hair. That means that somewhere along the hair shaft there was an abrasion and it broke at that spot. Whether it was heat damage, too much tension, if it's, a lot of times I could tell when people wear their ponytail in a certain place all the time, because all around that area where the rubber band is so tight, it's breakage, because it was just too much tension. That's why it's always nice to move your ponytails, not always put it in the same spot. Sometimes up top, sometimes in the back, put it on the side, have a little fun with it. But it's always good to move your ponytails, because if you do it too much in the same spot, you're going to cause too much tension on it, and it will eventually start to break.
Great question.
Earlier, you were mentioning about people who are tender-headed. So hypothetically, if you had a child who is tender-headed, what strategies would you recommend to make this a little bit easier?
So definitely a lot more time. You're going to definitely a lot more time, because you're going to have to really take your time with them a little bit. You can't move as quickly as fast as I was moving with Maluk, and you just can't do it. You just got to really take your time with it. That's the only thing. Other than that, and be patient with them. It does hurt, and it really does hurt them. I think a lot of times we think like, oh, it ain't that bad. It just hurts them. It hurts. I wouldn't suggest giving them a Tylenol or anything beforehand, but that might work too. But with my clients that are tender-headed, I just take my time with them. That's it.
Some other questions? Yeah.
I mean, even my twin sister is here too, and my twin sister is very tender-headed, and it took much longer for my mom to sit and do my sister's hair than it did to do my hair. And you just have to be really patient with it.
Yeah, just patience. That's really the key.
Hi, Johnny.
Hi.
My question is back to the wash.
Okay.
That video was very instructive, but my daughter's hair is almost exactly like Malukin's hair.
Okay.
And that is a different situation to wash.
Mm-hmm.
How do you recommend to go about that? Sectioning to wash, or what do you?
You can. I talk about that in my book as well. There is a way to section the hair where you do the front first or the back first or something like that. But at the same time, at the end of the day, it's really just a little more time consuming, right? If it's more textured, if it's highly textured, it's just a little more time consuming. But you can still get the job done the exact same way I did April's hair. Just make sure it's detangled first. That's what's key. You have to make sure it's detangled first, and then you go in and start shampooing hair. I can't believe this brush. I'm like blown away by it. Anyway, but did that help answer your question? Yeah, okay. You got it? Yeah, just take a little more time. Just take more time with it.
Hi. So I just last year started my lock journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized there's a lot of misconception about how to care for locks, and I see a lot of our campers here have twists or locks. How do you, fight the misconception, but also teach about how to care and actually go through wash days with the locking process?
So tell me, keep the mic for a second. Give me some of the examples of some misconceptions that you heard.
That like locks are dirty, or because you can't.
Oh my God, no.
Because you can't wash them, or people don't wash them for months and just accumulate dirt and everything in their hair.
That's definitely a misconception. I mean, of course, that's a way to do it, right? I wouldn't say it's the proper way to do it. One thing I know about locks, I don't do locks myself, but one thing I know about locks is that, you know, what helps them lock, even though now you can go get stuff locked in the same day, you don't even have to work. I had a friend came in last week, she got sister locks and it took 3 days and she's done instead of 3 months, right? So it's different now. They do this thing where they kind of interweave it and they make it lock. But what I've known from the past is what typically works with locks is the drier the hair is, the better for it to lock up. But that doesn't mean it's supposed to be dirty, okay? So that means you would use a clarifying shampoo only because the clarifying shampoo is gonna strip the hair. It's gonna take all that moisture out of the hair, right? So you would do a clarifying shampoo only and your hair would be a little harder because it's drier and will lock a little quicker. Does that make sense? But I don't believe and I don't subscribe to the uncleanliness when it comes down to hair. I believe you should wash your hair once a week, at least, depending on your hair texture.
Let's take 2 more questions from the audience before we wrap. Parents, you're going to get to stay with Johnny after and talk with him while the children go to their activities. But we want to bring Miss Rachel up for a quick story at the end. So we'll take 1 more question from the audience, and we'll bring Miss Rachel up.
Hi, Johnny. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
This quick question. When you were talking about the wash process and you said the steaming works really well.
Yes.
What does that look like at home?
So there's several ways. I'm glad you asked. So you can go to Amazon. They have hand steamers that you can purchase. You can use them for your face and also use them on your hair, right? There's hand steamers you can purchase. And they also have the hooded, they look like dryers, like a hood dryer. They have hooded steamers you can buy on Amazon. I have one at the house now that I got from the show, and it's fantastic. You can sit under that. Now, if you don't have either one of those, a little hack that I've taught people to do is you can take like a hand towel. So it's the size of that towel right there. You can take a hand towel and wet it, saturate it, wring it out, and put it in the microwave for like a minute, right? Or 2. Take some tongs and take it out. Let it cool down a little bit, but you will see it steaming and smoking. You wrap that on your head. Do that a couple of times, and that's a steam treatment. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's the same thing. And what the steam treatment is going to help, it's going to help the hair fight against humidity a little better and everything. And also, like I said, if you color treat it, it's going to keep that color very vibrant and looking luxurious. I absolutely love steaming treatments. I do them a lot on my clients. It's one of my favorite things to do to keep my clients' hair healthy. Let's see these curls in the front before you say anything, April. 1 second.
Yeah, I love it.
Ooh.
Oh. That looks so good. Speaking of you look good, Miss Rachel, will you come and join us on stage, please? Yeah. What do you think? Yeah, you want to stay? Why don't we stay? This is Miss Rachel, y'all. Hey. We love Miss Rachel, and she has a beautiful story for us. It's my favorite story that you tell.
Thank you.
So we're gonna let Johnny keep working on Tay over there. We're gonna keep Malukin up here, and we are gonna listen to you tell us your amazing story.
All right, thank you. All the animals were gathered around the watering hole, just like we're gathered here now. And they were drinking water, and a bird flew by. And they looked at that bird. And Monkey said, "Did you all notice? All the birds have beautiful feathers, different colors, different sizes, and we all have the same color skin." All the animals couldn't believe it. They looked at one another and said, "You look just like me. I look just like you." They said, "Oh, we need to go visit the Creator because we want to look different like the birds in the sky." So they sent Giraffe because he had a long neck and he can get the closest to the Creator. And he went to the Creator and he said, "Creator, the animals want to look different." Well, Creator said, "I hadn't noticed I made you all the same." That's not a bad idea. You go back and you tell the animals, one by one, they need to go in the cave and they need to say, make me look different. Giraffe was so excited and he went running off to tell the animals, and the animals were waiting. What did the Creator say? We, one at a time, gotta go in the cave and say, make me look different. Well, Cheetah came up and said, can I go? Can I go? Well, all the animals said, yeah, you can go.
You can go.
Well, Cheetah ran into that cave and said, make me look different. And the thunder rolled. Can I hear the thunder? And the lightning strike clapped over your head. And Cheetah came out of that cave. And all the animals, repeat after me, all the animals said, whoo! You look good.
You look good.
And Cheetah looked at herself and said, I look good. Well, Zebra came up and said, can I go? Can I go? And all the animals said, yeah, you can go. Well, Zebra went into that cave and said, make me look different. And the thunder rolled. And the lightning struck. And Zebra came out of that cave, twirled around and said, and the animal said, whoo! You
look good.
And Zebra said, I look good. Well, one by one, all those animals went into the cave, and an elephant came up and said, can I go? And all the animals said, yeah, you can go.
You can go.
Well, elephant went into the cave, and elephant said, make me look different, like cheetah and zebra and giraffe. Make me look different like them. And the thunder rolled, and the lightning struck, and elephant came out, and all the animals said, I don't think it worked. Elephant looked around and was like, I look exactly the same. Animals saggy. What happened? They said, oh, elephant, you need to go see the Creator. Maybe the cave's broken. It's not you. Well, elephant went to see Creator and said, Creator, look at me. I went in the cave. I look exactly the same. Creator said, what did you say when you went in that cave? I said, make me look different like cheetah and zebra. Elephant, I want you to go back to the cave. This time I want you to say, make me look different and stop. Fine. Ugh. Elephant got back and the animal said, what happened? Well, elephant went back in that cave and said, make me look different. And the thunder rolled. And the lightning struck. And all the animals. I hope it works, oh my goodness. Well, elephant came walking out. And all the animals said, whoo! Elephant, you look good! And he, wait, I don't see it. They said, go look at your reflection in the water. You look good. You look good. Well, elephant went to go look at his reflection in the, oh! I look good! You see these tusks? Oh, I look good! And elephant went running to tell all the other elephants. Every animal that exists on the planet went in that cave and asked to look different. Because they learned that day, and I need you to repeat after me, that different is good. Can you say different is good?
Different is good.
And one more thing, I want you to turn to someone and say, whoo, you look good.
Woo, you look good.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Rachel.
Wow.
We're going to say goodbye. We're going to say goodbye. We're at 2:30. We're at one more thing, Johnny, and we'll thank her and say goodbye.
You see her curls? Give her curls a hand, right? Now, typically what I would do is you can let this air dry, of course, and as it dries, it'll get bigger and bigger like April's hair. April's hair was much flatter earlier, but it's bigger now. You can let it, or you can use a diffuser, and you can use the diffuser to dry it. Now, what I typically do with the diffuser, I'll have them like put their feet on the ground and throw their head over, and I'm diffusing it like this, so that way I get that volume up top. But that's what's so great about using the diffuser. You get that volume really quickly, but again, you can let it air dry. And once it's dry, you get a little pick or whatever, and just focus on the roots and get it a little fuller at the top. Make sense? All right, that's
what
it, guys.
What I want to say is, Tay, let's see it before we go. Everybody, Tay, you look good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.